Hey! Week 3 of Artfight is wrapping up, so it's time to update you. This week, I decided to take it easy, but I think it was still fun nonetheless. I even added a new OC that I can't wait to show you guys. I also realized I technically never showed you guys the OCs I originally submitted, so we're gonna be doing that this week too. So the first day, which is day 15, I technically didn't do any art yet because I was still working on last week's video, but I did get attacked by Sandbox. They drew June, and I really like her wild hair and her cat-like lips, and she's doing such a cute pose. Now it's time for day 16. Today I was working on a revenge for mushroom dragons, and I was drawing their spooky OC exclamation point pound C thing %. Anyways, I chose her because I loved her horn-like hair and the eyes just covering her body. Also in the reference, there's like some clarification that her eyes have like a spooky red tint, and I thought that was cool. More about the drawing, I do feel like I low-key ate on this one. She looks mighty devious, and it was nice drawing something kind of edgy. I feel like my attacks this entire time have been like a little silly or like neutral, so it was nice being able to do something different. Anyways, here's the final result. As you can tell, I was enjoying the after effects. This was really fun to draw. This took 2 hours and 50 minutes. Now's a good time to move on to the day 16 recap. My attack got me 61.75 points. Today, one person attacked us, and it was Crashy Birdbarian. They drew Belladonna in this gorgeous scenery. I love her confused expression as if she's wondering why we're being nosy and staring. Very horrorcore. Honestly, this is so pretty and hypnotizing to stare at, but we have to go to day 17, unfortunately. Today I was revenging Fovo Mani, except it's another day where I forgot to mark it as a revenge, so goodbye slightly extra points. Anyways, I drew 2 of their characters, 3 if you'd like to count the snake. I remember when I was drawing this couple, I was like, oh, I have to draw characters interacting, that'll be a fun challenge. But no, I don't actually have to do that, thank God, because these 2 are long-distance boyfriends, yay! Let's get into who these 2 are. First up is Kenji and his snake, Melon. I've never been the type to say there can only be one, so the snake is safe, guys, don't worry. The thing that made me really want to draw him was, in fact, his hair and the fact he had a cool snake. I'm just always a sucker for cool hair, so if you guys want, like, art, just put wig on a stick and consider my art yours. Next, I wanted to draw his boyfriend, Matthew. Funnily enough, that's the same name as my mom's ex-boyfriend, and they both are redheads, so coincidence? Probably. Anyways, I'm sure he's 10 times nicer, so I chose to draw him because I thought drawing the messy curly hair would be fun, and also, I like blue and orange color combos. I remember I started rendering Matthew first, and I started really going into detail on his hair, and I was like, oh right, I have to now render everything else in this style. Great. I think my favorite part about him right now is the funky shirt I put him in. I think that's pretty cool. I think he's a little overworked compared to Kenji and the snake. I think they ended up looking a little bit better because I wasn't spending so much time on them, because I was rushing because this was approaching 8 hours. Technically that is fine because this week I was like, oh, I don't want to stress on time. But now I feel bad because I have less to show. On the bright side, I do really like the end result of this piece, so that's what matters, not anything else. I don't care if I have less to show you guys. I'm joking, please follow. Anyways, here's the end result that took 7 hours and 50 minutes! And of course, there's an obligatory random line on the piece that I can't get rid of. This drawing was really saved by like the doodles I added at the end to make it look more presentable. Right about now is a good time for our day 17 recap. I made one attack with 3 characters that got 68.5 points. We didn't get any attacks today, which means we can go on to the special day where I took a break and made a new OC. So let's swim over to day 18. You'll see why I say this in a moment. So warning, this is quite cartoony and messy. I'm not super sure on my cartoon style, so it might look a bit inconsistent. And I wasn't going super in-depth on the design, but this is Marin. She's a classic magical girl, and her transformations are like jester-themed, essentially. This design is based off the beach. I want to do a lot more that are based off like what body of water she transforms by. I think like a swamp would be fun, or maybe one based off salmon, because I love their colors. I was thinking of each transformation she can have like a summon, and I think this one it'd be a seagull, and she would essentially call it with her conch shell. I think it'd be funny once she learned this, she'd have some extra snacks on her during the battle just so she could throw food at the enemy and the seagulls could go get them for her, you know. For her untransformed look, I thought it'd be fun to do something really boring and lame to like kind of contrast her cool and like charismatic jester sort vibe. I think she'd be very studious, and she's like in an extracurricular, and she's just super smart and she keeps to herself. But like once she becomes a magical girl, she starts struggling to juggle the schoolwork, extracurricular, and like having enough energy to even do well. So I think a plot point of the story would be she has to like stop her extracurricular and she's really sad about that and her mom is just disappointed in her. And guys, this totally isn't related to anything about me, okay? I think besides the summoning power, it'd be cool if maybe her shell, like her clam shells can like clamp down on an enemy to like capture it. And maybe like the pearl-esque design that can just be little balls she throws at people, because why not? Maybe some water powers as well. There will probably definitely have to be other magical girls in this story because it seems like her powers will only be useful by the water, and I doubt every single enemy will be at the water. Unless maybe all of my enemies are gonna be like sea-themed, like maybe crabs. I hate crabs. No, that's not nice. I don't hate crabs. They're kind of cute. I can't even say kinda. They're really cute, honestly. Anyways, here's the design I ended up with. Her designs and permissions is that when she transforms, she must be a jester and to follow a marine/water theme. And the only thing that stays the same whenever she transforms is essentially her skin tone. So there's like a lot of leeway for anybody who doesn't want to do this beach design or just want to play around with the concept. And like I said earlier, now I will show you the OCs I have submitted earlier. First up is June, and if you haven't noticed, she is our most popular target. You could say she's kind of a comfort character, very basic, cute, strawberry pink Batgirl. But I also, after Artfight, plan on doing a beastly design for her just to spice things up a bit. Here's a sketch of what I was working on for her before Artfight, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep following this design once I get back at it. I was thinking something even more intense, or maybe it can go like a scale of intensity, and maybe this is like midway. Next up is Meringue. She's kind of a stoic, jealous, half-human, half-unicorn hybrid. She thinks this is natural, you know, being half-unicorn, but it's actually she was experimented on as a child. And where she lives, she's kind of seen as like a lesser than, so she has to get like more odd jobs. She actually works in an illegal underground fighting ring. Say that 10 times fast, I couldn't. It took me like 5 takes to say that. It's actually through this job that she meets Belladonna, who we'll be showing in just a minute here, but she's kind of like a quote-unquote prize after winning a important fight. So, let's get to Belladonna before we get too deep into Meringue lore. She's essentially the same starting, experimented on as a child, unaware of it. These two did not, like, realize they knew each other even before this. The difference for Belladonna is she decided to work at a brothel. So their meeting is that she essentially had a session with Meringue, but they just ended up talking for hours and bonding over the fact that they're both half unicorns, which they weren't even positive others existed. Belladonna's horn is actually rounded down so that she doesn't try and fight back, which is a little fucked up. Everything after that is like a whole D&D campaign that isn't finished, so we're not gonna get into that. But anyway, Belladonna is technically my fiance's. I helped design and draw her, and he gave me permission to submit her just so we could get cool fan art of her, and he didn't plan on entering this year because while he's not exactly an artist, I am trying to teach him to draw, so maybe next year. But like, I just didn't really have many OCs, so I thought, you know, married people are just the same people. You know, they have the same information on hand usually. So OCs are the same way or something. I'm sorry. Anyways, that is all the OCs I have this year, but aside from personal art, we got 3 attacks today. One even on Marin, even though I just posted her today. But let's get into it. First, we got an attack from Bunny Skier, and they've drawn June looking super cool. Like, she really gives off an aura that she'd be in a band or something. I also like the pose, it's super cute. Next is a revenge from VMR POS, and they've drawn Belladonna. I love seeing art of her. I also love this creator's artwork. I love watercolor and the little stickers they add. Also, Belladonna is serving so hard in this piece. And finally, an attack on Marin, which I somehow got an attack on her within the hour I posted her. Anyways, it's a super fun, lively pose of them soaring through the sky, kind of. I don't think I was specific enough in the permissions about how I wanted her theme to be water. Nonetheless, it is really cool fan art of her, and I also really like pink and teal color combos, so a win is a win. With all that being said, it's now time for day 19. I was more productive than usual this week. I had to revenge 2 people. First up was Ardent, who belongs to Bunny Skier. I wanted to draw her because of her cute hair and striking red eyes and cool tattoos. She was actually quite fun. I really like how clean this piece came out. I never know if I want like a more painterly or like clean style, so I started to just give up and just go with the flow, and I knew this girl would be slick. I really enjoy doing like the little roses in the background. Please don't look too closely at them. Those are purely just doodles. Don't judge me. Anyways, here's the final result. I present to you Ardent. She took 3 hours and 13 minutes. Next up was a revenge on Sandbox, and I drew their OC Lynx. I chose her because she's a cute kitty, and I was interested in her face and pattern and outfit. And I honestly feel like I might have went like too hard on the cuteness. I added little bows and I added cute round eyes. I'm not sure this character's aura or their personality, but hopefully they get down with cuteness. I enjoyed making it and they didn't say they hated it, so I'm taking that as a win. With that being said, here's the final result. This one went by pretty fast. It only took an hour and 50 minutes. Anyways, that's all for today. Let's get to our recap. I made 2 revenges today that earned me 84 points in total. And today we got 1 attack from Binomi. It's Meringue and Belladonna, and they're so cute, and the pose is so fun. I love it, and how their arms are like linking. I always love when artists use the cute halftone-esque dots as well. Always a great addition. Also, more kudos to them doing 2 full bodies. You guys are really putting a lot of effort into these 2, and I'm so proud of you guys. And then we got a second attack from Zerathos, which I almost missed because for some reason it wasn't showing up on my feed, which I'm gonna assume is because I wasn't the main target, I think. I think this is the first time. But here's Meringue. It has really strong lighting, and Meringue just looks super cool and tough. Thank you, I love her. Now it's day 20 time. So today I'm doing a revenge for Crashy Birdbarian. This is our OC Freya. I've never actually drawn a moth-based character, so I thought today would be a good excuse. I love her antenna and her hair is so fluffy. I also remember seeing a Drider OC on their page that was super cool, and I totally missed when browsing their characters. But Freya is also cute, so I'm not gonna complain because I'm pretty happy with this piece. I decided to draw her like holding up her wing and pointing at it because this character is actually mute and she can't speak, and she also can't fly, so I thought maybe the piece could be conveying her like trying to communicate that to somebody. I also thought it'd be fun to do like a mini comic of like her trying to communicate these very simple like things to just the worst people at charades. But I also got lazy, so we don't see that, but it's a thought that counts, guys, not if I actually do it. Anyways, this piece I did do some slightly fancy I did some slightly fancy lighting, and I also did a background on the spot, so it looks a little weird. I think I'm getting slowly more insane the amount of re-recordings I need to do because apparently I have something wrong with my speech, I've learned since starting this channel. Anywho, here's the result. It took 3 hours and 6 minutes. Yay, day 20 recap time! Today's revenge earned me 47.25 points. I actually got 2 revenges today. First is from Catter Tams. They're actually a huge inspiration for me, and when I attacked like a big artist, I was like, when I attacked them, I wasn't even expecting anything back. I just was like, oh my god, I love their OCs. This is a perfect excuse to draw them. And then when I got art back, I was like, wow, that's cool. Anyways, enough of my glazing is what I think the kids say these days. Let's talk about the art. First off, the background and the lighting. Also, they like did them like blatantly doing PDA with their OC, and that's very them core, so they totally clocked that just right off the bat. I think the interaction between the OCs is also just very cute, very, very nice. Anyways, with all that being said, the week comes to a close. I don't know why I'm getting a lot of energy to suddenly do this now. It's a little bit too late, isn't it? We're nearly at the end of the video. There is technically one more day in the week, but I didn't get any attacks and I didn't finish any attacks. But I will play a speed paint for you that I'm working on right now, just while we do the recap for the week. This week, I only made 5 attacks, but I drew 7 characters. Our point total for this week was 261.5. I'm gonna have to make that up next week. Anyways, our point total is now our point total is now 1,568. Maybe we can aim for 2,000 in total. That's doable. Anyways, right now I'm working on a mass attack, and I'm trying to show off different fashions. I realized like I had drawn everyone, and they're like all light-skinned. Not all like white people, but they are light-skinned, which I just wish I had a little bit more diversity. So I was thinking about after this one, I'd do one with even more characters just so I can cover more fields. I'm not sure if I'll cut it out, but I did start like vaguely working on another character like floating by the legs, but then I was like, shit, this would be me covering up the legs I took so long on because I'm really bad at drawing legs and feet. They don't even look that good. That doesn't mean I want to cover them. The speed paint is also really funny because, like, the first character took me so long, and then the others, like, I think I'd finally, like, gotten into my groove. But let's talk about the fashion present that I plan on doing. The first character is a fan of VK style, which I hadn't ever heard of before, but they did, like, have, a reference for, like, the fashion, which I thought was really cool. Like, they had, like, a little Pinterest board that I could just look at, so I just picked a few things and mashed them together. Second, I went for like a scene kid sort of vibe because the character likes colors and they had like a little raccoon tail on like their original drawing of them. And the third character, they liked rich money, like ex cottagecore, so I tried to capture that to the best of my ability. And the fourth, I wasn't like directly informed on what this character liked, but like I feel like the fashion is approachable because it's some like what they drew their OC and I was like, yeah, I'd wear that. I think another reason I like struggled to get like a more diverse like team of characters is because like I was doing like just my followers and the people I had to revenge, so it was like a small pool because out of my followers only like 2 people messaged me, I think. Maybe 3, and then wait, no, 2. So with the next fashion attack after this one, I'll probably just grab a bunch of random characters, which is what I did with one of the characters. And here, like, there was that oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. The 5th character I was adding by their legs floating. She was just a random character I just picked up. But then I was worried about adding her because then I'd be covering up some of the design as well. So I decided I would just do a separate post. Oh my god, I'm really talking too much, guys. And this is what happens when you go off script. But like, I'm just so sick of it. I keep messing up. Anyways, I'm really excited to draw this 5th character because they have like a pink and orange fashion, which I've never really seen before. Daphne? I feel like there's a character that does that. Velma? I don't know. Anyways, I've yapped enough. Thank you for listening. Come back next week. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.